Today we're going to be learning about the anatomy and physiology of the endocrine system. First thing I'm drawing is an evil perception of a hormone because lots of people perceive our hormones as bad because they make us more dramatic or more emotional, which is true in some cases. But hormones are actually really important in helping our body maintain homeostasis. Hormones help all our body systems work successfully and maintain harmony in our bodies. Hormones are present everywhere. They're present in things from when we're scared, whether that be us at the movies or watching a scary movie, to us activating our fight or flight responses. They're even present in our romance and us being able to fall in love. So without hormones, we wouldn't be able to fall in love with people. You may be asking, what is the true role of hormones in the endocrine system? And honestly, they are the endocrine system. Hormones have lots of different functions. To start, we have our metabolism. Second off, we have ICF and ECF balance, which is basically just osmotic pressure of intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. We also have contraction of smooth and cardiac muscle, and if without that, we wouldn't have our hearts beating right now. So that's very important. It also plays a role in our reproductive system, which without this, we wouldn't be able to reproduce. And it also controls our growth and development, and without hormones, we would all be babies forever. Alright, so where are our endocrine glands? And there's 8 crucial places where endocrine glands are present. Number 1 is the hypothalamus. Number 2 is the pituitary gland. Number 3 is the thyroid and parathyroids. Number 4 is the thymus. Number 5 is the pancreas. Number 6 is the adrenal glands. Number 7 is the kidneys. And number 8 is testes and ovaries. There is 3 crucial hormones in the hypothalamus. The first one is GHRH, which is growth hormone releasing hormone, and that releases a HGH release. And then we also have ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone. And then finally, we have an oxytocin, aka the cuddle chemical. The location of the hypothalamus is deep in the brain and inferior to the corpus callosum. Up first, we have the pituitary gland, aka the master gland. The pituitary is called the master gland because it secretes hormones that are controlling of other endocrine glands. There's 2 parts to the pituitary gland. There's an anterior and a posterior, which means like front and back. The anterior name is the adenohypophysis, and the posterior is the neurohypophysis. Alright, the two most abundant hormones are ADH and oxytocin. In the posterior, a big role it plays is smoothing the uterus for childbirth, and it also plays a role in breast tissues for milk ejection during breastfeeding. The most abundant hormone in the anterior pituitary gland is HGH, or somatotropin. It stimulates cell growth, also stimulates protein synthesis, and it also inhibits protein breakdown and uses glucose as fuel for our metabolism. The pituitary gland is located inferior to the hypothalamus. Alright, up next we have the thyroid and the parathyroid. The thyroid is the main endocrine gland, and the parathyroids come off the edges. Something pretty unique and interesting to the thyroid is that it is the only exocrine gland that can store its secretory product in large quantities. Some important properties is it regulates our oxygen usage, it controls our energy rate or our basal metabolic rate, increases ATP production, and also enhances actions of our epinephrine and norepinephrine. Alright, we have the thymus. The thymus is super important because it makes our white blood cells. And white blood cells are super important because using those white blood cells, it helps us fight infection. Something interesting about the thymus is that it creates all of our T cells we will need in childhood. The location of the thymus is right in between your lungs. Alright, up next we have the pancreas. The endocrine tissue of the pancreas are called pancreatic islets or islets of Langerhans. There's two different types of important cells in the pancreas. There's alpha cells and beta cells. Our alpha cells secrete glucagon, which raises our blood sugar, and beta cells secrete insulin, which lowers our blood sugar. The pancreas is also one of the main organs involved in diabetes, which is interesting. The pancreas is located in the upper abdomen near your kidneys. Alright, up next is the adrenal glands. There's two regions of our adrenal glands. We have the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla. Alright, first up we have the adrenal cortex. The outer region makes up the majority of the adrenal gland. Cortisol is the main hormone involved in the adrenal cortex, and the cortisol promotes a normal metabolism, provides resistance to stress, and also plays a role in glucogenesis. Glucogenesis is essentially synthesis of glucose and our glycogen in our liver. And it also acts as an anti-inflammatory. Alright, next up we have the adrenal medulla. Two important hormones is adrenaline and norepinephrine. Helps cope with our stress. Also with epinephrine and norepinephrine, it increases our heart rate, increases blood pressure, increases respiratory rate, dilates respiratory passageways, increases blood sugar, stimulates cellular metabolism, and increases efficiency of our muscular contractions. The adrenal medulla is the inner portion of the adrenal gland. Each adrenal gland is located superior to the kidney. Alright, next up in the endocrine system, we have testes and ovaries. Testes for male, ovaries for female. Testes contain the male sex hormone, testosterone, and also contain sperm cells. Alright, the ovaries contain the female sex hormone or estrogen and also contain oocytes or eggs. The location in the body for males is in the scrotum or the testicles, and for females it is in the middle of your abdomen, lateral to your uterus, near the fallopian tubes. So next time when you're scared or when you're falling in love, remember everything you learned from this video about your endocrine system. I hope you learned something new, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!